Ladies and gentlemen, work hard in silence, a mantra that carries the weight of dreams and the power of patience. It's a phrase one have lived by, and today I want to talk about how this principle shapes not just your career, but your soul. In this world where everything feels like it's on display, where validation is sought in likes, shares, and applause, the art of silent perseverance feels rare, almost forgotten. But let me tell you something, real success doesn't need noise. It demands focus, dedication, and the kind of inner strength that thrives in stillness. When I started my journey, I was nobody, just a girl with dreams so big they scared even me. I didn't have connections, resources, or the kind of privilege that opens doors effortlessly. But what I had was fire and an unrelenting belief in my own ability to turn a no into a not yet. I knew that if I wanted to be someone to make my mark, I couldn't waste energy proving myself to others. The only one I needed to prove myself to was me. And that is where the silent grind begins. People think success is glamorous, but they rarely see the grit behind the gloss, the sleepless nights, the endless auditions, the rejections that cut so deep you wonder if you'll ever recover. I've been there. There were moments when the world seemed to conspire against me, when I felt like an outsider in an industry that didn't know what to do with someone like me. My accent wasn't right, my look wasn't conventional, and every step felt like walking uphill in a storm. But I learned something vital during those times. The world doesn't owe you understanding or fairness. You have to create your own path brick by brick in the shadows. Silence is misunderstood. It's not weakness or submission, it's the most profound form of power. When you work quietly, you take the noise out of the equation. You stop worrying about what others are doing, what they're saying, or whether they're watching. You focus entirely on your craft, on honing your skills to the point where your work speaks louder than you ever could. There's a beauty in being underestimated, it gives you the room to grow without the burden of expectation. And when you finally emerge, you're unstoppable. I remember my first big breakthrough. It wasn't handed to me, I fought for it, prepared for it, dreamed of it for years. And when it came, people called me an overnight success. Overnight, they had no idea about the years of struggle that led to that moment. But I didn't bother correcting them. Why? Because the silent worker doesn't need to. Your success will always be your loudest statement. Let them wonder, let them speculate. The truth is yours alone, and it's all the more satisfying when you know what it took to get there. What I love about working in silence is that it teaches you resilience. When no one is clapping for you, when no one is watching, you learn to motivate yourself. And that's a skill no one can take away. You stop needing external validation because your journey becomes about growth, not glory. It's in those moments of solitude when it's just you and your ambition that you discover your true strength. You learn to stand tall, not for applause, but for yourself. And trust me, there is no applause louder than the one you give yourself when you know you've done something extraordinary. Working in silence doesn't mean staying invisible forever. It means preparing for the moment when the spotlight finds you. And it will find you because talent combined with hard work is a force no one can ignore. But here's the catch: when that moment comes, it's fleeting. Fame, recognition, and success, they're all temporary. The only thing permanent is the effort you put in. That's why you have to fall in love with the process, not the outcome. The hours you spend perfecting your craft, the discipline it takes to show up every single day, those are the things that define you. Not the trophies, not the titles, and certainly not the opinions of others. Let me tell you another truth: working in silence also protects you. The world can be harsh, people can be quick to criticize, judge, and tear you down. But when you keep your dreams to yourself, you shield them from negativity. You give them the space to grow without interference. It's like planting a seed. You don't keep digging it up to show people. You let it take root, water it, nurture it, and one day it blooms so beautifully that no one can ignore it. That's what silent hard work does. It allows your dreams to flourish in their own time. But don't get me wrong, working in silence doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself completely. It's about knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. Share your victories, but don't boast. Accept help when you need it, but never let anyone take credit for your effort. Build a circle of people who believe in you, who challenge you, and who celebrate your growth. And remember, even when you succeed, there will always be more to learn, more to achieve. The grind never really ends, it just evolves. One of the most rewarding parts of working silently is the surprise factor. When you finally step into your moment, the world will be shocked. They'll wonder how you did it, where you came from, how you managed to outshine everyone else. And you'll smile not out of arrogance, but because you know the answer. It's the hours they didn't see, the sacrifices they didn't understand, the relentless drive that kept you going. That's your secret, your magic. Success built on silent hard work is unshakable. It's not built on shortcuts or showmanship. It's built on a foundation so strong that no setback can destroy it. And yes, setbacks will come. You'll stumble, fall, and doubt yourself more times than you can count. But when you've worked for something in the shadows, you've already faced the hardest battles, you've built a resilience that makes you unbreakable. So when the world tries to knock you down, you'll rise again stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. To anyone listening to this, I want you to know you are capable of greatness, but that greatness doesn't need to be announced or flaunted. Let your work speak for itself. Let your journey inspire others, not through words, but through actions. And when you finally stand on that stage, when the world finally recognizes your worth, you'll know that every quiet moment of effort was worth it. So work hard in silence, build your dreams brick by brick with patience, grit, and unwavering faith in yourself. Trust that the universe is watching even when no one else